Well, it turns out that the Calvin Ridley sweepstakes have come to a bitter end for now. What's good, you guys? I know what it is. Your boy Tone DeShields the second. Really appreciate y'all for being here. Really got to lock in with y'all, man. So much news has been going on in the NFL, most notably surrounding Calvin Ridley, the Atlanta Falcons wide receiver. Now, before we get into the details, make sure you guys subscribe to the video. Also, hit that like button. I was doing some research and come to find out that over 90% of you guys that are knocking out my videos, over 90% of you guys that are locked in on the content aren't subscribed. I don't know why, but it's okay though. Keep coming back, keep supporting, keep hitting that like button, keep commenting below. But also make sure you guys are subscribed as well. I really appreciate that. But Calvin Ridley, man, he has been suspended for the 2022 NFL season as of right now for gambling on NFL games. The NFL said he's suspended indefinitely, and the bar minimum is the 2022 NFL season, and he's going to be eligible. He's going to be eligible for reinstatement on or after February 15th, and he can also appeal the suspension within 3 days of notice. Now, this situation is very interesting because Calvin Ridley went out early last season. I think he only played 5 games with the Falcons, and he went out due to mental health reasons, and he was out for the entirety of the 2021 season. So the Atlanta Falcons haven't really been trending in the right direction, and it seemed as though he may want out at one point. Who knows? The Atlanta Falcons didn't really seem too committed to him. A lot of mock drafts had them picking up a wide receiver. There have been a lot of rumors surrounding that organization that they're thinking about trading him for some assets. But the word is they've refrained from trading him in good faith because they heard about the investigation and they wanted to make sure everything was done in due diligence, right? Now, I understand why Calvin Ridley got suspended. You were betting on NFL games. You have direct knowledge of NFL teams, NFL playbooks, so on and so forth. Your knowledge can influence the outcome of games. You can give people direct information from your team and really give people the leg up when it comes to the betting world. So you can really compromise the integrity of the game. But luckily, based off the investigation, none of his actions necessarily compromise the integrity of the game. As a matter of fact, Roger Goodell sent the memo, and his exact words were, and I quote, "There is nothing more fundamental to the NFL's success and to the reputation of everyone associated with our league than upholding the integrity of the game. This is the responsibility of every player, coach, owner, game official, and anyone else employed in the league. Your actions put the integrity of the game at risk, threaten to damage public confidence in professional football, and potentially undermine the reputations of your fellow players throughout the NFL. For decades, gambling on the NFL games has been considered among the most significant violations of league policy, warranting the most substantial sanction. In your case, I acknowledge and commend you for your properly reporting, for an interview, and for admitting your actions." So Calvin really owned up to it. He didn't deny anything, so that made it easy, right? But the NFL was so interesting because, like I said, I understand why he got suspended, but I don't really agree with the severity of the punishment. The reason for that is because the NFL has given lesser sentencing or lesser penalties to guys who have done significantly more damage, not necessarily to the game of football or the integrity of football itself, but more so they've done physical harm to people, particularly women. They've done physical harm to people around them. They've given people harsher penalties or lesser penalties, I believe, for weed. And now, my thing is, it's such an interesting thing, the way the NFL approaches how they go about giving people punishments for certain things. Now, look, we can all do our due diligence. We can all do our research. I'm sure they've given people full season suspensions for chronic violations of drug policies, Josh Gordon, so on and so forth. But the NFL tends to operate off their own best interests, and when you start to compromise the integrity of the game, when you start to affect the bottom line, the dollar potentially, especially in that betting world, the NFL makes a lot of money in betting, a lot of money. They're in bed with FanDuel and DraftKings, and you see all the sponsorships all over the place. They're all in bed with each other. They make billions of dollars together. So you see what happens when you start to affect the money. When you start to get when you start to affect the outcome, when you start to affect the integrity of the game, when you start to get too close to the money, the NFL is going to make sure you're known, and the NFL is going to make sure you get full penalty for that. So, nonetheless, it is what it is. It's a shame because Calvin Ridley, I believe he was going to have an amazing season this year. The worry was he was trying to get traded, and the Falcons were definitely looking for suitors. And the Philadelphia Eagles were definitely one of those teams who were looking towards maybe bringing in Calvin Ridley potentially, trading for him. Whatever they would give up, that's another conversation. But the Eagles were definitely one of those teams that was looking at Calvin Ridley to be that veteran presence in the locker room at the wide receiver position. So, unfortunately, the Calvin Ridley sweepstakes for this season will be null and void for now. He will be eligible for reinstatement, and he's going to play in the NFL again. He didn't harm anybody. He was off, and he was just making some casual bets on the game, and it happened the way it happened. Again, I understand why he got in trouble. I just don't agree with the severity of his punishment, if you will. Suspend him half the season. It is what it is. But, if you guys did your due diligence and you discovered that his actions didn't actually compromise anything in the game, his actions didn't necessarily influence any outcomes of the game, then half a season. It is what it is. But you got him out here looking crazy, suspending him for the whole season. I don't really agree with the severity of punishment. I agree with the punishment, not the severity of the punishment. And I'll leave it at that, you guys. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, especially if you guys are watching the content, man. Really grateful for you guys. Like I said, it's over 90% of you guys locked in on the kid, and you're not subscribed. Why? Put your bag down, take your shoes off, get comfortable. I appreciate it so much. I'm your humble host, Tone DeShields II from Chalk It Up Sports, where no matter if we win or if we lose, we just got to charge it to the game. One love, stay humble, stay healthy, most importantly, stay hungry.